Class 1000 clean room, constructed out of hanging sheets of plastic with a laminar airflow filtering system. At the dressing area, she put on her gown, gloves, hair cover, mask, and face. So many times before it was wrote. She stepped through the heavy curtain of plastic and into the clean area. A soft hiss filled the space, and the air was cool, dry, and scentless, filtered of almost every speck of dust and particle of water vapor. The bottle rose in front of her, a stainless steel container 40 feet in diameter and 90 feet high, with gantries leading to hatches. The tank was surrounded by metal braces.
Oh, come on, give me a break here!
Conduits. Inside the bottle, engineers had recreated a small portion of the Kraken Sea, the largest ocean on Titan. Today, they would put the Titan Explorer in the bottle to test it under real-world conditions. Saturn's largest moon was unique in the solar system. It was the only moon that had an atmosphere. It had oceans. It had rain and clouds and storms. It had lakes and flowing rivers. It had seasons. It had mountains and erupting volcanoes and deserts with dunes sculpted by wind. It had all this even though the surface of Titan hovered at 290 degrees below zero.
Finally.
The liquid on Titan was methane, not water. The mountains were made not of rock, but of water ice. The volcanoes that erupted spewed not molten lava, but, rather, liquid water. The atmosphere was thick and poisonous. The deserts were formed of tiny grains of tar, so cold they behaved like wind-blown sand on Earth. It was an extreme environment, but it was also one that might, just might, harbor life. Not like life on Earth, but a form of hydrocarbon-based life that could exist at 300 degrees below zero.
Come on, lady.
Titan was truly an alien world. The Titan Explorer was a powered raft designed to explore the Kraken Sea, the largest on Titan.
Exceeded your company's threshold of
Shut up.
In front of the bottle.
Like I really care.
It was a grotesque-looking thing, almost like a torture chamber.
Blah, blah,
She still
blah,
couldn't
blah,
believe
blah.
that she was a key member of the Kraken Project, the first attempt to explore Titan. It was a dream come true. Her interest in Titan harkened back to when she'd been 10 years old and had read Kurt Vonnegut's novel, The Sirens of Titan. It remained her favorite book, one she dipped into again and again. But not even a genius like Vonnegut could have imagined a world as weird as Titan. The real Titan. Melissa Shepard pulled out the checklist of the day and began going over it, visualizing the crucial tests ahead.
I gotta get a better...
As 8 o'clock came around, others began to arrive, greeting her with a nod or smile. At 9 o'clock, the actual countdown would begin. As they trickled in, chatting and laughing with each other, Melissa felt once again like an outsider. She'd always felt a little awkward around her NASA peers. They were mostly uber nerds, brilliant overachievers who had come out of places like MIT and Caltech. She wasn't able to share in their nostalgic tales of winning spelling bees, triumphing in math club, and participating in the Intel Science Talent Search. When they'd been the teacher's darlings, she'd been boosting car radios to buy drugs. She almost didn't graduate high school and was barely able to get into a third-tier college. She wasn't the normal kind of smart, It was a hard-to-control, neurotic, hypersensitive, manic, and obsessive form of intelligence.
It's a hard knock life
She was never happy.
for us.
And when
It's a
she
hard
was in a
knock
dim,
life
windowless
for
room,
us.
all by herself, coding like mad, far away from messy, unpredictable human beings. Despite all that, in college, she managed to get her neurotic behavior under control
39.
and buckled down. Her odd genius was finally recognized, and she was able to finish up with an MS in computer science.
Hey, get away from this guy.
Compounding the problem, and a never-ending problem for her, was that she was a 6-foot blonde with long legs, a dusting of freckles, and a cute turned-up nose. Girls like her were assumed to be brainless. They were not supposed to be rocket scientists. The only thing that saved her from being a total Barbie was a large gap between her 2 front teeth, called a diastema. As a teenager, she had stubbornly refused to have it fixed, despite her mother's entreaties. Thank God for that. Who would have thought that a gap-toothed grin would have been a professional enhancement in her chosen field? It still amazed her that she had been appointed leader of the team that coded all the software for the Titan Explorer. The assignment gave her a wicked case of imposter syndrome. But as she worked on the extremely daunting software problem, one never before faced in a NASA mission, she came to realize this was perfectly suited to her abilities. The challenge was this.
It's a hard knock life.
Titan was 2 light hours from Earth. The Titan Explorer could not, therefore, be controlled in real time from Earth. The 4-hour delay in passing instructions was too long, and the Kraken Sea of Titan was a fast-changing environment. The software had to be able to make decisions on its own. It had to be smart. It had to think for itself.
Turn right off the exit.
That is, it had to be artificially intelligent.
Ah, an AI.
In a weird way, Melissa's outlaw past was a great help. She broke all the rules in writing code. To accomplish this task, she created a new programming paradigm and even a new language. Based on the concept of scruffy logic. Scruffy logic was an old idea in programming, and it referred to computer code that was loose and imprecise,
Left.
striving for approximate results. But Melissa took scruffy logic one step further. She understood that the human mind works with scruffy logic. We can recognize a face or take in an entire landscape in an instant, something not even the most powerful supercomputer can do. We can process terabytes of data immediately, but imprecisely. How do we do it? Melissa asked herself. We do it because the human mind is programmed to visualize massive amounts of data. When we look at a landscape, we don't process it pixel by pixel. We take it all in at once. Program a
Actually,
computer
no.
to visualize
That one.
numerical data, or better yet, visualize and oralize data.
Oh, I can go this way. All right.
And you've got strong AI built on a platform of scruffy logic. And that is precisely what Melissa did. Her software processed data by seeing and hearing it. In a sense,
Let's see
like a
here.
human
So
being.
What am I looking for?
it lived inside the data. The data actually became the physical world it
634
inhabited.
113.
And even though she was a resolute atheist, she called this new programming language Fiat Lux, after the first words of God. When he supposedly created the world, let there be light. Instead of striving for correct output, Fiat Lux, in the beginning, produced output that was weak and filled with error. That was fine. The key was self-modification. When the program spewed out erroneous output, it self-modified. It learned from its mistakes. And the next time around, it was a little less wrong. And then a little less.
All right.
And for a while, The self-modifying software platform that Melissa and her team were building worked well. It grew in accuracy and complexity. But then, over time,
Alright, let's see here. 1-3. Okay. Inbox. Alright, let's do this here real quick. Alright, let's exit it. Yes.